This is the Poddy with Serene
and Pearl.
Get it right, Poddy.
What's up, you beautiful people of the world? It's the Trim Healthy Podcast, and we're back, and we're so glad you're listening and watching. Girls?
He seems really happy, eh? Do you know why he's happy?
He's happy.
Don't let me fool ya. There's no joy here.
Do you know why he's extra happy? Because we've actually given him permission to proudly wear his pink shirt.
Today is, when you listen to this, it won't be, but today is Danny's birthday. He is the 4-4. And we had to say, as
44.
he was
Good old 44.
walking in, Danny and I were the roses and Serene was the
thorn.
thorn in the black. Between us, we were in pink. But we had to say, Danny, 44 for you is much better than 34 because I knew you at 34.
Yeah.
And you're...
That's not saying.
No, I'm saying you're getting
That's
better
like
with age.
really bad at 34.
Thanks. I feel better. When I was 34, I was really unhappy with myself.
The reason why I reckon that I'm giving him permission for pink without giving him a razzmatazz of a hard time is because he's got the grey coming out now.
Yes.
And he's got the beard, so you can do that.
Yeah.
If you don't have grey or beard, pink shouldn't be on.
This isn't pink.
It's definitely pink, Danny.
That's pink.
Same color, pretty
That's
much.
like Priscilla pink. This is
Serene, do you
salmon.
notice much difference?
No, I mean, that's like once the paint's wet and dry, it's the same color.
On the
it's
wall
dry.
and in the
This is the
can.
dry version?
Yes. Hey, but those of you listening, not watching, much apologies for that because you can't see what the heck we're talking about. Danny, I have a mission for you on your birthday.
Okay.
That is, I shall allow you to read a listener question if you cannot abuse such listener question and moan about how long it is or just
Don't add your name into it.
don't dismiss the
If it's not
person and
there.
ask why does she have so many questions. She's a woman. She has verbal abilities.
We were on a podcast the other day of some man, and he talked about our plan in one sentence.
Yeah.
One sentence. And we forever, the business side of Trim Healthy has been like, girls, can you just try and consolidate your answer? Like, what is Trim Healthy about? And we got it down to probably like 5 minutes, maybe,
Yeah.
but many sentences.
And this is what he said.
And he
said,
summarized.
he's like, your plan, my wife does it, right? It's like you can eat all the things, but
no,
you
he said, you can eat all the stuff. You just
you
have to
stack-
stack the stuff. You have
Oh,
to stack
ruin
the
it.
stuff right.
Okay, so here's eat all the stuff,
Finally!
but stack the stuff right.
I just understood the Trim Healthy Mama plan.
It's because I'm like a man brain. We needed a man brain all along.
So here, Danny, do you accept this mission?
I do.
Okay, it is from Monica, and be
Well,
kind.
Keep it simple. Keep it sane. I mean, the guy did it. He summarized and kept it
Yeah,
simple.
when we tried to keep it simple, nah.
Have you just put your phone on silent?
All right, let's see it.
girlfriend?
Don't read the other ones underneath. It's short. Come on. No, I said accept the mission or not.
I accept, but is it from the top?
Yeah, just the first one. Goodness.
This is not a question. This is the beginning of her
Yeah,
book.
okay, bring it back to me. You're not obeying.
I'll do it. Let me do it. Hi, this is Monica. First of all, I want to let Pearl and Serene know how much
No. Oh, that's just for seriously. Give Monica her due. She's a wonderful woman, and her question needs to be given respect.
Yeah, I think so too.
Just
Was I disrespectful in my read?
You were rushing it.
and you're doing it monotone, and you were really
Okay. No, I felt the pressure because of the length to go fast. I'll slow down. Hi, this is Monica. First of all, I want to let Pearl and Serene know how much I appreciate and admire them. Adore them, actually. Okay. I see why you wanted me to slow down.
I didn't even know. I'm clueless about what's it.
no. I just wanted Monica to have respect.
Yeah, of course. Adore them, actually. Let me start there.
I had no clue what Pearl was bringing today.
Oh,
until
man.
There's some good questions. They're going to be meaty.
I feel like we're besties, so it's weird that they don't even know me. Haha. Thank you so much for all the time you
You can speed up a little bit now.
This is not
Can
a-
you find
this
a
is not a
medium
question.
place?
It
This is
comes
a
to
praise
3
report.
really meaty questions.
Okay.
Just keep
Thank
going.
you so much for all the time you sacrifice and effort you put into bringing us health information we can trust. I'm also a believer, and I love when you don't hesitate to bring scripture in. Serene's obvious passion and love for God has challenged and inspired me so much. Oh, and the bunny trails are the best part. Never change, please. So finally, on to my question. I'm quite sure you've heard of the blood type diets, and I'm wondering if you think there's any merit to it all. I'm type O, which means I would be mostly carnivore, and I've found that I feel incredibly much better when I focus on animal proteins more than fruit and vegetables, even so far as leaning towards carnivore-ish. I realize it could just be because it stabilizes my blood sugar, etc. And I'm a young mom with 2 toddlers, so maybe I require plenty of protein since I'm in my cycling years. Oh, she's a cyclist. Just wondering if y'all think there's any truth to the blood type thing or not, out of curiosity.
I'm jumping at the bit.
Secondly, if eating up to 40 to 50 grams of protein at a meal keeps me feeling good and keeps me from being hungry every 1 to 2 hours and, quote, grazing, end quote, is that okay? Is it harmful to consume that much protein at one meal? One last question. I promise it's the last. Smiley face. I've heard you guys say that eating every 3 to 4 hours stabilizes blood sugar and is what we should be doing. But I've also heard a lot lately from other people that we shouldn't be eating so often because it keeps our insulin trickling in too often and doesn't allow it to drop enough and contributes to insulin resistance and metabolic harm rather than health. I personally find it almost impossible to lose weight when I'm eating so often, and it's discouraging. Would you mind sharing your thoughts on that, please? Oh, I should add for reference, I do have insulin resistance and prediabetes, which I'm trying to reverse. Thank you so much. I look forward to every single potty that you release and usually replay it a couple times. Thanks again.
Thank you, Danny. You actually did really well in the end.
Yeah.
Once
you really
once you
were
started
professional.
giving Monica the respect she deserves.
No, I respect her fully.
Yeah.
Her as a person.
Yeah.
I feel like, and I know you want to jump in, Serene. I want to say this to you.
Sis, you brought the question.
They are such meaty questions. They're so relevant. They're
You remember
so
all 3?
timely. Yeah.
That's powerful.
And thank you, Monica. I
Thank
feel like a
you.
lot of people are probably asking those same questions right now because there's a lot of information out there kind of feeding this, honestly. A book will address a lot of it. Today, Monica, you're a listener of our potty. We might bring some things that maybe are in total opposition to what you're hearing, maybe to what you're thinking. Since you're such a listener, it sounds like you're going to forgive us for whatever we say. But, I want to stay respectful of your really good questions and just give you our true, honest insight. And because this is about time we talk about this, right?
Yeah.
So, Serena, if you're...
Well, I'm just coming in
jumping
cold
at the
and
bit.
hot. Cold meaning I had no clue what Pearl was going to bring, so I haven't been able to formulate my thoughts or freshen up on the blood type diet or whatever. That's my cold part. I'm coming in hot, meaning I have a knee-jerk reaction to some of the questions. So coming in just off the knee-jerk and an unstudied approach where Pearl was probably prepared some really wonderful answers.
No, it's just all in my head. It wants to come out.
Okay, my knee-jerk is no matter what blood type we are, no matter if we're Zulu African, no matter if we're a little Scandinavian, they're probably big Nordics, right?
Yeah, they're big.
Okay, well, imagine or if we're just a little Japanese person or whatever. Boy, I'm getting politically incorrect.
Yeah,
This is bad,
you really
but
are.
whatever we are, whatever part of the planet we
Okay,
hail
Arden
from.
has a look. He's looking in my eyes. Auntie Pearl, do you want me to delete all that?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Because
you're
Zulu and all that has nothing to do with the blood type. It's just body type.
Trying to set it up.
Okay.
I'm saying no matter what type, but there are, I'm just saying there are extremes because a lot of people, it's blood type. Other people, it's like, well, you grew up in this part of the world where there
that's
were
true.
only oats. So you're okay with oats. But these people, I'm just trying to say there's a vein here that I'm trying to shut down everything in one
You
go.
explained it
The
with
Japanese aren't very small, though.
Okay, whatever. But I'm saying no matter what your unique differences are, there is science to the human body, no matter what our skin color is, no matter what our blood type is. There is science that our metabolism tanks a certain way. It tanks when we go so many hours without eating. Our leptin tanks no matter who you are, no matter what blood type you are. without feeding it proper gentle carbohydrates. No matter who you are, no matter what blood type you are going to start breaking down your own muscle tissue if it's been about 3 hours after eating protein. So if you eat, and no matter who you are, you can only absorb a certain amount of protein and use it, and there'll be differences in ages for that.
She's young.
But for the most part, it's very difficult for you, and especially as a woman, to absorb and utilize 60 to 70 grams of protein in one setting. So I feel like it can be a waste at that meal when you can use it a little bit later and do more interval style of protein throughout the day. And in that spot that you were filling up on that protein, you could have had some beautiful rainbow phytonutrient-rich vegetables on the side and fruits and
Can
gentle
we take
carbs.
one question at a time, though? Because I really want to start with that blood type O.
Okay, but do you see my point?
Yes.
My point is let science and the human body inside, how it runs, and our safety switches that God's designed, especially as women, we're life givers, where there's like the 2-kisspeptin, areas in our brain that signal danger, danger, danger. Like you've had no carbohydrate energy. You've gone a long, long, long time without energy. Those things are in every human, but twice as much as in women, no matter what blood type you are. Oftentimes when you eat certain diets that are removing food groups, you're going to trigger those. You're going to go into those landmines, trigger the blow up bomb, and your metabolism will be detonated.
Yeah, I agree. So can we go back to this blood type O? Because Serene, what blood type are you?
Oh, I have no clue.
Oh, okay. I think you're O.
Whatever.
All my
Why
children,
do you think she's
because
O?
I asked my mum what our blood types were, because I'm a strange blood type. I'm A negative or something like.
She has to get that special shot when she's pregnant, so her body doesn't like.
So,
Oh.
and I've
expel the
looked up my
babies.
blood type and all of that, but all my children are O. Charlie, my husband's an O. All they got the O. So let me talk about this blood type O, whatever you are, because we talked about this in our very first book, because that diet was very big at the time. We used to get questions about it all the time. My daughter, Meadow, is an O, and when she was a teenager, she experienced PCOS, and she went off a lot of carbs because she was told at that time by a nurse practitioner, oh, you have PCOS, you need to lower your carbs. She was kind of a young teenager at the time, brought up healthy, but she was kind of getting into the sugar, and you know how young teenagers do. And so she went really low carb, and her PCOS symptoms actually got worse with low carb. We tested her insulin, everything. Her body did not respond. She then kind of really, for herself, looked into the essence of Trim Healthy and realized, okay, so I'm supposed to use carbs and I'm supposed to do E and S and all this. And I didn't tell her. She actually investigated for herself. She started utilizing more gentle, healthy carbs in e-meals and in crossovers.
And being not so abusive with the fats.
Yes. Well, she walked out of PCOS completely, but she gained so much health. Now, blood O-type diets, meaning you can eat a lot of animal products. If you feel better with a lot of animal products and you are still cycling and all of that, that's fantastic. But there is a place where it gets into imbalance and where it gets into an extreme. And that's when you go from, hey, I like to eat meat and enjoy meat, and that's wonderful, where it goes from that to, I actually think I should mostly only eat meat, and fruits and veggies are not for me. But you're an omnivore. You were made by your creator to eat both, to eat all the food groups. And I don't care what some doctor of some book or some influencer says.
It says that veggies are out to kill you.
Yeah, all these fruits and vegetables cause gut problems, or that your body was not designed to run on them. It's not true. Mm-hmm. You need carbs. If you want to get rid of your insulin resistance, you need carbs for your muscle mass. It's not just protein.
And instinctually too, just go back years and years and years and years ago to just healthy tribes, healthy societies, just ancient ways of eating. And they instinctually knew to eat of all the food groups, or whatever was in their area and what they could get. But normally it would be all the food groups, whether it was cows or they were just more of a coastal area, and it was just more fish, but it was usually animal protein and vegetable protein, kind of differing of wherever they were on the earth. But I'm sure they didn't all know their blood type.
No.
And then go all tested before they decided to know what to eat.
Yeah.
I was eating a salmon the other day, and I just thought, this can't be wrong. How can people be vegetarians and not, or they let the salmon through?
Yeah.
Even the vegetarians will
Oh
eat
no,
salmon.
if you're a strict
No,
vegetarian, you don't
won't.
let the
No
salmon through.
salmon.
That's the thing. When I was a vegetarian, I'm like, what are all these people thinking that fish isn't flesh, it's flesh? You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
do
Like as a
vegetarians-
vegetarian, I didn't eat fish.
Are they fundamentally against meat because, like, they watched the movie Bambi and the baby talked?
It depends. Some
Yeah.
people have it grosses them out, the thought of eating
And
a
so they
dead
take
animal.
on a fundamentalist type of position.
Yeah, but there's many
I was not
reasons.
fundamentalist.
Yeah.
I had no fundamentalist reason in my head.
Were
Mine
you
was
grossed
just
out? Or
I was
it-
grossed
Hell.
out.
And a lot of people think it's healthier not to
Okay.
put dead flesh, dead meat in your body. But that's not her question. She wants to eat meat.
But I have a question about, now the rabbits are here.
Yeah, they really are.
I have a
Okay.
question about when you were a vegetarian. Were you a vegetarian? Is that a safe word? What were
Oh, I was beyond that, but I started there. That's
Okay.
that was the beginning, the entrance level to my quirks.
Yeah. Okay. So when you were grossed out by meat,
Mm-hmm.
and then did you deceive yourself into thinking that I'm so educated on the data that I'm not going to eat meat, when really deep down you were just grossed out?
I was deep down. My initial thing was just grossed out.
Okay.
Textures were weird for me when I was young.
Me too.
And if
Yep.
there was a certain texture that
Yep.
made me feel like I had to chew and chew, and that
Yep.
and it couldn't break
It's
down.
like
and
it's like gum meat.
But sometimes oranges can do that to me too. It's like
You can't
there's
break it down.
a lot of stuff in my mouth I've been chewing on like chewing gum, and it can gross me out too much.
Why can some people not? Another trail, and we're going to get back to that, and then back to you.
Do you see my patience is
But
fading?
yeah, no, and I'm nervous. I'm just wondering though. Some kids,
Yeah.
they can't break down meat, and they'll chew it like gum.
Oh yeah, but
What?
I could break it down. I just didn't like to chew it. Like, it just was like it was just a grossy thing to me. I just
Fish
needed-
is so much easier to chew
Yeah.
if it's like
Yeah,
salmon.
it
You know,
dissolves.
But I'm
It's-
one of those people now to this day. The steak has to be really, really soft. I can't do
Like yeah.
chewy meat.
I don't like it either.
Yeah, but I'm all about meat. I just have to choose the right kind
Okay,
of
but
one that
did
doesn't gross
you?
me out.
I'm wondering if you built a religion around.
Oh, I did.
Just
So I had my initial knee-jerk reaction, and then I
Okay.
built data around it.
okay. So that
Yeah.
I just wanted to know, because I feel like I lived the first half of my life doing that in every area.
Yeah.
It's just however I felt about something, I would then go and search for data to support.
Yeah.
I think that's called something too. I can't remember the actual name.
It's what
for
a
that.
lot of us do, I think. I
Yeah.
think it's
Like
human nature.
Like you build all
Yeah.
of this evidence around what you just want.
Yeah.
And you don't even know, you're not in touch.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well,
Go for it, Pearl.
okay, so back to when you say, Monica, you say, I'm leaning towards carnivore, and you say you feel like it stabilizes your blood sugar. Meat does stabilize your
does.
blood sugar. However, when you're getting up to, you say 45 to 50 grams of protein. If that is all meat protein, you get all you need with 25 grams of meat protein.
Can I just say something about stabilize the blood sugar?
Yeah.
See, that it does, and there's a truth to that. But what is the full truth? The full truth is, where is it meant to be stabilized? Is it meant to be stabilized in a constant dirge, baseline? If you ever looking at like somebody in the hospital and you're watching the monitors, that's not some kind of thing you want to see. You want to see natural rises and falls, rises and falls, rises and falls. And everywhere else in nature, the ebb and flow of the tide, you got the moon waxing and waning. You want that rise and fall. So when you said stabilize, that's actually just, if you just ate meat, you're not actually stabilizing. You're dirging your blood sugar. Now, if you put some gentle carbs in there, you're actually getting a nice rhythm of a beautiful gentle peak clear.
And do you know what happens, Serene?
That is what
Your
yeah.
insulin then works. You see, everyone's worried about insulin these days. Oh, too much insulin all the time. Insulin goes high, doesn't go down. Yes, that's what happens when you lose your lean body mass as you get older.
Yeah.
But you want insulin to surge.
And Pearl's going to talk more about insulin as we go along, but I just want to just finish this sentence in the fact that the only way the word stabilizing should enter the conversation, and the only reason that word ever made it into the conversation of blood sugar, is we don't want it to skyrocket. So they want to keep it to a certain level, but meat doesn't even let it rise to to that certain level.
Blood sugar still will allow insulin to go up a little bit because meat requires insulin
but
to get into your muscles.
Not to the nice level that we're meant to. So it's more, let's never say meat and like carnivore diet stabilize my blood sugar. No, it dirges your blood sugar level.
And
So what are they doing? What are the carnivores doing to keep their blood sugar up? Or their body adapts?
Yeah, the body adapts.
Okay.
But here's the deal.
Well, it's enough to keep your heart and brain and everything going, but you don't have necessarily wonderful excess energy to get in the gym and not stress your body out.
But I want to talk about this insulin thing.
You go.
Everyone's
for it, girl.
scared of
Do it.
insulin. Insulin is one of our greatest hormones.
Oh, I love it.
Without it, we die. Without it, we lose our lean body mass. This is why a lot of fasters and people that go low carb lose their lean body mass. Their glutes and their bum shrinks and flattens.
Oh, forbid it.
We want insulin to do its job, which is to gather that protein, those carbs, and that energy and put it in the jolly muscle cells. We want it to do it. Now, there's a problem when our muscle cells become resistant to insulin.
It was never insulin's fault. It was allowing our muscles to get chocker full or shrink.
But everyone's blaming it on insulin. It's
I
like,
know,
keep
poor
insulin down.
insulin.
Don't spike insulin. How about we work on those muscles and do the things, which we'll talk about in our upcoming book, to open them up again?
Because it was seen at the scene of the crime, they just locked it up in jail. And
That's
the deal
good,
is,
man.
these new beautiful incretin mimetics, GLP-1, right? We've got tirzepatide and semaglutide and whatever you want to call it, Manjaro and all the others. It's the same, just different names for them. What do they work on? Actually raising your insulin. And what do? They make people lose weight. Insulin is not necessarily the thing that puts weight
remember,
on.
your body makes those hormones too.
No, exactly. But why do people have to get on the medication? Because too many weird diets, like constantly low carb, carnivore for long, long seasons, will deplete your own natural incretin hormones. And guess what? You'll stop making them.
I can
Sometimes
tell you this.
it won't pick up again.
Fixing my diet healed me 80% of the way, and working out took me another 80%, if that's possible. I know the math there is whack.
Yeah, but I get
it.
The spirit of it, I get it.
Yeah, the spirit of it. Like, so when you just said something about training or resistance training with all this, that can like heal your body. And like, I feel like my stomach is better.
Yes,
And
because
that my digestion is
guess why,
better.
Denny?
Why?
When you strength train, particularly, there's exercise does it on the whole, but strength training in particular causes heating up of your gut. And it causes more oxygen to go there, like 10 times. So what do good gut bugs love?
Yes.
They like a warm, oxygenated place. So your gut goes whooshy.
Yeah, your microbiome is benefited by
But what are
exercise.
these good gut bugs? I need to talk to you about this, Monica, because this is serious right now.
About to
You
wave a
want good
flag.
gut bugs? If you just eat meat, your gut is going to shrink. Because what is the food for gut bugs?
Fiber?
Where do you get fiber?
Plants?
Can you get it in meat?
No.
Thank you.
This has been another episode of the Trim Healthy Podcast, and we hope you've had a good time. We're still going though, right?
But here's the deal. There's a lot of carnivore, pro-carnivore stuff going on right now. It is everywhere. But the guy, one of the head carnivore guys, that started it all.
He's not doing it no more.
Chowing down the fruit now.
And the honey?
He's like, okay, everybody, here's my lunch. I mean, I follow him. You should see his meals because he did it for a long time and then he realized the repercussions.
That's the way to do it.
And
Build
you-
a brand on an extreme diet and then get balanced 10 years later. Sell a book.
Yeah, well, wonder why Pearl and I...
I'm glad he's just showing, though. He's
Wonder
out there with
why
what he's
Pearl
eating.
and I are so pitching our tent on balanced land. Because we did the same thing.
We did.
We were there and we held our flags high on these weird extreme diets. Am I like not cool? He's staring at my armpit.
No,
What
when
is
you
it?
raised your arm and I had to
Ah,
check.
she's touching it.
I wanted to
Just
make
making
sure.
sure it was shaved and I couldn't feel prickles.
I kind of was almost expecting to see like a little line.
No, you saw
Like some
nothing,
popping
right?
hairs.
Poor people.
I
that
wish it
can't
would have been just
see.
like boof.
No way. You're
Come
not
in
gonna
with an
find that
afro
on-
one day.
You're not gonna find that on me. Okay, so where was I?
Oh, it was going to be good because your arm was up.
Yeah, I was saying, why were we Oh, I can't even remember the flag. Stop looking at my armpits. We put our flag on these
Somehow I have
extreme
binoculars
diets,
that come out.
We put our flag on and we were like flailing it around. Why? Because we had incredible honeymoon periods on these extreme diets. But boy, did we plummet and did we crash and burn and did we pay for that extremeness. And the payment was so miserable.
But it was years later,
We
Monica.
learnt.
If you went carnivore right now, Monica, you're probably going to do fine for a couple of years.
Oh, you probably get some benefits. Why?
What?
Because anything new on your body, the body's like, oh, this is new, juggles things around, and you actually do lose a bit of weight at first. But I tell you what, there will be a comeback of that weight.
Your insulin will go down. It's what I call masking.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have
You
high
look like
insulin-
Trump when you did that.
Really?
Your insulin
Yeah.
will go down.
Your insulin will go down. Your blood sugar will probably stabilize. You'll probably think, Monica, that you have no longer prediabetes. But what it is masking.
You've taken all of the things that you thought agitated you, and that you just put yourself in a bubble.
I'm
And
not
you
going to.
didn't test out. It's like, okay, guess what? I'm going to imagine that I'm strong. So I'll never lift a weight again.
Yeah.
And I feel strong.
Because-
Because when I pick up this pound of butter, I can easily do it. But guess what? That doesn't mean you can go in the gym and lift anything.
Yes. Oh my goodness, that was a good analogy. I just want to give you a clap because that just came from just nothingness,
just
right?
came
I do want to say this too, Monica. When you say, you were focusing on animal proteins and not so much fruit and vegetables, like they're giving second stage, maybe even drop them stage, right? Plants help your meat digest.
Yes,
If you don't
they do.
have plants, your meat can have harmful metabolites as it digests. Meat's a great thing where our bodies were made
In fact,
to
without
consume
meat,
it.
you get imbalanced on the other side of the
Yes.
microbiome. You need both.
You need both. And then let's talk about vitamin C.
Yeah.
Meat has all the minerals and vitamins. It hasn't got any vitamin
No.
C. And vitamin C is crucial for your metabolism, your adrenals. I don't want to see you in 2 years talking about adrenal fatigue, Monica, because you're a cycling woman with little children. You need those carbs, that fiber from the plant food. You
And
need
actually,
those fruits.
one of the big things that they have studied, and we brought this out before on a Trim Healthy Poddy years ago, but if you're stuck and plateaued on for weight loss, oftentimes it's a vitamin C deficiency as part of, not the complete picture, but it's definitely part of it, because they had studied people that were starting to do nearly everything right, but then they were still vitamin C deficient, and they put that right amount of vitamin C in, they started losing the
Yeah.
weight. It's definitely part of the full picture.
Okay, so the next thing you say, Monica, and I hope you don't mind that we're just being sisters with you, because this is the way Serene and I talk to one another.
Oh, yeah.
We bring things to one another and we just get in one another's face and bring all the truth that we can, and then it can lie.
We wave the
where it-
hanky man. We get all Pentecostal.
Then it can just lay where it lays and you can sort it out. But you say, and secondly, if eating up to 40 to 50 grams of protein at a meal keeps me feeling good and keeps me hungry from grazing every 1 to 2 hours, is that too much protein to consume in a meal?
Well, this is what I'm saying. I feel like it's an imbalanced meal that's wanting you to eat every 1 hour.
Yeah, there's something going on with your incretin hormones. If you want to eat every 1 to 2 hours, it sounds like you have a lot of food noise.
Now, sometimes if I'm working out hard and training, and especially when I was doing that and nursing, on the 2 hour mark, I felt like something.
If you're nursing, you need to eat it.
Okay,
2
and I
hours.
just ate.
Yeah, but I don't know if she is.
No, but so my point being is, if that's not your situation and you aren't burning energy at both ends like that, I feel like the meal you had wasn't balanced enough, and just shoving that much amount of protein isn't really fixing the balanced picture.
Well, can I talk about you? Quite young, I think, because you're still cycling. I don't know how old you are. I'm guessing young 30s or something like
I'd
that.
rather put a very
Yes.
sensible crossover meal together that's very balanced and sustains her for 3 good hours than for her to shove 70 grams of protein in just to keep in
But
an
it was
ear and
45 to
mode.
50. I know you love to
Oh,
elaborate, but can I talk
okay.
about this? She said, is it okay to do that?
In the
So,
evening,
yeah.
it's natural sometimes.
Can I just answer this
Go for
question?
it,
And you
baby,
just zip
big
it for
sister.
just 2 minutes. It's this. As I was saying earlier, you can get, with 4 to 6 ounces of meat, you can get 25 grams of protein, which supply all your protein needs. However, you can go more than that. That's fine. If you're young, you can utilize 30, maybe 35 grams of meat protein at a time. When you're getting to that 45 to 50, a very built, strength trained young man can do it.
And
50,
woman,
60.
and young
Yep.
woman.
If you're not built and you haven't been strength training, I highly doubt your muscles can take in that much.
Yeah.
You'd have to condition them to do it. What happens is it gets left over in your bloodstream and can turn it into a fuel. Also, you have to eat a lot, but over time, it can be a little tough on your kidneys. Why not balance your meal?
Well, it just makes more sense because you were missing certain nutrients.
And let's talk about fiber.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
We've talked
only
about
does it,
fiber,
is it
but we can
required
repeat
for
it.
your whole microbiome, but it keeps you full. It can help you get to that 3 to 4 hour
the
mark.
other balance part of the satiety.
Yes.
Right? Satiety is not just about protein. Satiety is about the fiber.
And fiber's in the greens.
Well, fiber's in any
Fruit,
plant
sweet
food.
potatoes, beans.
Quinoa, yeah.
Okay,
Grains.
I have a complaint and a recommendation. First, the recommendation: your dynamic duo. Is it called dynamic duo greens?
Do we still sell that?
It's just out at
No,
that
it's out of
time.
stock.
Out
That's
of
the
stock.
complaint.
Oh,
When's it
that's
coming
Everything
back
I
in?
want's out of stock.
so hard to
Yeah.
get that back in because we have just one sauce that we like without the heavy metals.
We didn't like any other sauce for the
Spirulina
moringa.
and moringa have high heavy metals. A lot of sauces.
They're the
and,
king and queen of all greens.
But
so that's
there's-
why we chose them, but that's hard to keep them clean.
and we've found a clean sauce, and they're
Why?
very
they,
sporadic.
They grow unclean or
We
processing?
could sell them. We could sell them because it's within range, but it's not the range we're happy for it.
yeah.
That's wild. That
So
you
it'll be
even
back
test it.
when we have our clean
Oh,
sauce
we
again.
overtest it.
So it's just out indefinitely
No,
until.
we'll get it back when
Well-
they give us it again. Sorry.
What are they? Is it the plant? I mean, do we
Well,
need to
they
make a
get
trip?
harvest every year, but if it doesn't meet ours, if the wind blew in a certain kind of chemical over the,
So it's even the same
It's-
farm,
it is the same
but
farm.
it could have.
and they're not changing their practices. It's just environmental.
just give us the unhealthy stuff.
We can't.
Well,
Serena,
you know
I
what we're going to do?
can't.
We're going to buy it unhealthy from the
I
store.
know.
Is
But
it
at least
that
that
unhealthy?
won't be on our.
No, it's not that unhealthy. I'm sure it's like all the other greens, but we
We just don't want
You
to
just
do
can't
it.
do it.
We just can't do it.
We'd rather you get it somewhere else, and then we're not giving that to you.
Well,
Yeah.
what are you buying in the meantime? You're getting
Yeah,
your green
from some
powder.
other company,
I
but
have
at
my
least we
sta-
didn't have to do the testing.
No, I have a stash. I have a large stash.
Oh,
Yeah.
of your
Yeah.
greens. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna. So does it last a long time?
Yeah.
Okay. So next time it's in stock,
Okay. Yeah. Just load up.
that's the secret. And give us a heads up because everybody's gonna line up for it.
I'm telling you, when I balance a meal with like really good amount of a protein that my body can work through, and that's different for me than it was for me 2 years ago because I train hard and I have developed muscle that's wanting that. Okay, but when I get the amount of protein that I know I can use, and then I put enough fiber in that meal, and then just good gentle carbohydrates, I feel very satiated for.
Let me tell you about my lunch
few
that I
hours.
just had, and I want you to
before
try
do,
it.
Can I ask
Monica.
one more thing about the greens?
Yeah, sure.
Does your green powder have the fiber you're talking about,
It definitely
or
has
do you have
some.
to get it from?
Well, you want both. You want to eat your food and then take some certain things just for
Okay.
added extras.
Because you know what satiety is too, having gone through the event of chewing.
Yeah.
I find I can stuff a bunch of calories, even fibers in a smoothie, and I can get full, but the experience wasn't full.
That's
the
why I like
experience was
to
greatly
have
lacking,
bowl-
and so I feel like I need to go sit down and eat something just because feel like I missed lunch, even though I'm.
But do you
I didn't.
think nutritionally it's better as well to process it from your mouth?
You know what? I have a mixed feeling about that. I say yes and I say no. Yes, I think it is. Because I think you're actually in the saliva, you've got enzymes coming into play, and you've got things that are starting
And it's
to break
fresh from
down
the food.
in the mouth. The
Yeah.
amylase and everything is starting to break down in the mouth. But there are things that have been incredibly useful to the body now since the Vitamix. You can break down avocado pits. Do you know that they find that there's more nutrition in the pit of an
Have you ever
avocado
done it?
than the avocado itself? No, it's what I learned from Ben Greenfield in his
What?
book. There's incredible
Why?
nutrients in skins and pits that you couldn't really chew.
I got to
Yeah.
make a recommendation
Very well.
of some.
Boundless Kitchen
Good
is
on
Ben
you,
Greenfield.
Nate.
So recommendation, I've been like on the fence because it's like, $400 for a blender. I want a Vitamix so bad. It's not that I can't buy a blender. We can all buy the dang blender. But then I just see this other list, like kids braces. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, I
Yeah.
can't justify a nice blender right now. In the meantime, the NutriBullet is
You're
epic.
loving it.
My
A lot of
wife-
people love the NutriBullet.
It's like 60
After
bucks.
you've got a Vitamix, your NutriBullet, you just call it a big old CRAP machine.
Yeah, but for a single serve,
Yeah, single serve good.
man.
I don't know. My
it's
things come out
nice.
bitsy. If I put a whole
Really?
handful of garden greens in there, there's little flecks.
No.
The Vitamix, you don't see a fleck. It
Okay,
just turns into
you-
green paint.
You're on old data. The new NutriBullets,
Yeah.
they are powerful.
Yeah, you're in the background. You're in the future. Back to the 80s, remember? That's when
Yeah,
you
no,
used to watch TV. Hey,
I had
I
one
have
3
more
years ago.
things to say. We need to get off that rabbit trail. I wanted to tell Monica what I had for lunch, and I wanted to challenge Monica.
She's like a, what do you call
My
that stuff?
podcast. Did I not bring this today?
Monica likes the rabbit trails.
That's
You
true.
know-
Yeah, she
you know
said
what
it
she's
specifically.
Like? It's the debate. What do you call that stuff again?
The presidential
the
debate.
presidential debate.
But I'm winning.
Let's talk about
You're not the
Trump
one in the game.
and
You're the one trying to
Biden.
control the
Oh,
people
I'm the
yelling at each other.
moderator.
You're
Yes.
the
Hey,
moderator.
quick question. We're not rabbit trailing here. I promise.
I'm not
But-
talking politics.
But you
It's
you
his
actually know
birthday. Let him
politics
go
and
a
I
little
don't.
bit.
Hot.
I'm apolitical and I'm wondering, why did Trump and Biden have a debate?
I want to challenge
Golly
Monica
gee is a swear word in
to
certain
trying this
churches.
particular lunch that I just ate. I am so stuffed. I predict that it will hold you at least 3 hours. There will be no 1.5 hour snacking. There will be no nonsense.
Okay.
Your stomach will feel very satiated. So will your mind. Okay. And it's a trick that I use for many things. It's a bit of a hacky hack thing.
Okay.
You can make it a crossover or an E. Today I made it in the middle of those. It was like a kind of an over the top E
An
with
E
my
over.
avocado.
An E
E
over.
over, and thank you.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm quite aggressive today too. I took an extra dose of my hormones.
I was wondering if you put like an extra pump twist of that.
Feeling all
I did a
testosterone.
really
Hormoned
big pump.
out.
You know when you put it back on the thing and then you just like push on it, you get more little
Yeah,
twiggles of
yeah, yeah.
hormone cream out. I did that.
Yeah, I can feel it, but I like it.
You're
because
doing shots,
I
right?
feel like we're
No,
more,
I do
feel like
creams.
we're more like equally paired for
Yes,
the game.
I feel serene and
like
I'm
instead of her
channeling
getting
serene.
upset at me, she's pushing back, and I like it.
Hold on, but you stopped. You were doing injections.
No, Serene's done injections. I've never done injections.
Oh, you've always just done cream.
Yeah.
And it's enough?
Oh, I'm super high.
Depends on what you want.
Hey,
out of
quick
life.
question. This matters. I promise you people are going to love these trails today. These are
course
good
it's enough.
trails. These aren't trails like fodder like we're talking about outfits. These are pertinent. Yam cream.
Nah.
Oh, my
Put
goodness.
your thumb down.
Okay, here we go. We have a whole section in our book about yam cream. If
Really?
you are a
Tell
pre-
Lisa to put it back
if you
on the
are
shelf.
a premenopausal woman, you may or may not, it's all up in the cosmos and the
Okay.
air, feel better because you've got
you
hormones.
probably will feel better because of the placebo.
Yeah, and or there's there is progesterone in yams.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
estrogen and testosterone. So it might go in there, and you
Depending if you have good enough receptors.
Yeah.
Some people.
But let me tell you, if you are perimenopausal, late perimenopausal, especially when your hormones are trickling way down, or if you're postmenopausal, yam cream cannot do a thing. And I am not speaking here just from the top of my head. In studies, it cannot raise serum levels. So it's not protective. And it's not protective and doesn't give your breast protection, uterine protection. You actually have to have levels in your blood doing that. And yam cream can't do it. You actually have to have USP micronized progesterone.
And that's in a cream form can work.
That is from a physician.
Yep. Okay. So women's clinic type of
I
situation.
mean, yeah, well, we'll be offering it in our KIAORA program when we launch, but there's many other places. You don't just have to come to us. But if you want to protect your uterus, protect your breasts, and sleep,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, and you're not premenopausal. I'm not saying it won't work for premenopausal women.
Yeah,
Peri
yeah.
and
Okay.
post, it's actually, some doctors say it's dangerous to use.
Well,
because
I
you
was
think you're getting
using one of those
protection.
creams for a pregnancy because I thought, felt like I was impending miscarriage, and I used one of those creams. And I told my midwife, OBGYN, about it, and she's like, well, you can go do it if it makes you feel better, but if you want to have the right help, you need to take bioidentical progesterone. And there was an FDA approved one that she could have given me, Prometrium, and it's not synthetic. And because she's like, none of these will raise any levels enough to help your baby. Like people say they use these during pregnancies because they feel, maybe it's placebo, but she's like, we can get it tested. These don't affect
They don't
They
affect
don't
blood.
affect blood.
They might affect premenopausal women because there are hormones inside the yam, which it might be affecting receptors somehow and giving a balancing effect. Progesterone is very soothing, and somehow the receptors might be connecting to that and getting a bit of GABA, but levels aren't going to change.
Yeah.
So I want to challenge Monica to a lunch.
Yes.
And Monica, you know, if you're on Facebook, let me know what happens. So, and this is going to have carbs, it's going to have fiber, and it's going to have animal protein, and it's going to be well-rounded. So today for lunch, I get this Bavarian bread off Amazon. It is whole grain rye, and it's had a partial sourdough fermentation. Serene gives it a B.
Oh, I give it a B plus.
B plus.
I don't give it an A plus. Like
No,
mine.
your bread.
But it's a B plus.
For a store-bought option.
I eat it without any guilt and think, oh, this is a healthy lunch.
What did you say the name?
It's called Bavarian brand. It's from Bavaria, I guess. Yeah.
You get it from Amazon?
Yeah.
And it's in those like
It's a
little
dark
sealed plastic packages where you can put it on
100%.
your shelf for 2 years.
Let's look it up.
So because this meal is so filling, these pieces of bread are very big. So I just use one today, but you could use two. You could use 1.5. They're bigger than normal slices.
But it's carbs still, right?
Oh, it's the best of carbs
That's
because
$40.
no, that you get like 10 loaves for that, like 6 loaves
That's a
or
case.
something.
Okay, $13.
Man, there's a fly.
14.
I know, and it loves you.
I know.
Yeah,
I think it's because I'm a bit sweaty.
But are people
Yeah, it
going to
thinks you're
balk
sweet.
at 14 plus tax for a loaf?
Well,
But you're
I
not
don't
feeding
know.
it to your whole family.
Oh, this is your
It's for
secret
her.
bread.
Yeah, this is your secret
Anyway,
bread.
Got it.
toast one of those pieces. While that's toasting, I want you to put in your blender this. And I'm sorry if you don't have all these ingredients, you could actually make it work with other things if they're not our brand. But 2 tablespoons of our chocolate optimized whey. If you don't have that, you can use any whey. 2 tablespoons and add some cocoa. I still add 1.5 teaspoons of cacao powder. I add 1.5 teaspoons of gentle sweet
To what base?
to about 10 ounces of almond milk.
Grand.
A generous pinch of salt.
Yeah.
Okay. And here's your key. 1 teaspoon of whole house psyllium flakes.
Yes.
Now, I want you to get this whirring in the blender on low. There's a trick to this.
Yeah, low for like while your toaster's in the toaster.
Yeah, you want it long and low, please.
like a minute.
Yeah, you can even add ice, but I don't. But what happens is the whey and the psyllium mix, and it starts to form this thick chocolate milk
Yeah.
that tastes delicious.
Tastes real fatty and creamy.
Oh, it's so fatty and creamy,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's lean and
Yeah.
mean, right?
Pearl actually uses our whole. People are like, why are you still selling this whole husk psyllium? What do I use it for anyway?
Oh, it's-
Pearl lives on that.
I love it.
stuff.
But this, you start sipping this drink before your meal even starts. So like 10 minutes.
And you've already had whole husk psyllium in your breakfast already.
yeah, I
in your own
already
dish. She
have.
adds
You
it to
bet it's in
everything.
every oatmeal bowl I
She's
make.
a blimmin' quirk.
So anyway, so get this kind of going in your blender, maybe blend it up for 2 minutes and then turn it off. Just let it sit there. Or you can just then blend it. Make sure it's thick and good, please. And then pour it in your drink and start sipping it. Now you're going to make your avocado toast.
Ooh, yeah.
So I spread for an E 1/8 of an avocado on that toast. And then I make about 1/2 to 3/4 a cup of egg white hack. It's my egg white hack. You pour it in a
So
pan.
this is a total E meal.
You could, if you want to cross over, you could do 2 eggs.
Because I do a whole avocado on my toast. when I
Well,
do it.
you could do
Yeah.
for a crossover half an avocado.
Yeah, well, I do a whole. I'm just giving
That's
balance.
fine.
I'm just
But
giving
you're
balance to those that are listening.
Yes,
You know
but
what
you're
I mean?
a very, very muscled woman.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to say. I
Exactly.
want the whole gamut to
Sure.
not be put in a box.
But I'm talking how to do an E because we
Yes.
share E's and
Yes.
S's. 1/8 of an avocado is an E and it's very indulgent, Serene.
Oh, yeah.
So then what I do is I spray the pan very lightly and I put nutritional yeast on the pan, pour the egg whites in, and then I sprinkle salt and nutritional yeast on the top.
So basically, she's crusting
And then
her
I
egg whites.
crust them, then I flip it. I get it brown on each side.
It's almost like Kentucky Fried Chicken egg whites.
It is, and then you season
It really
them-
is. I've had this at her
You
house.
season
It's
with hot
delicious.
sauce and cayenne pepper. You don't.
I've had
fry
this
the
entire
cayenne
meal
pepper.
at her home. She served me. It's divine.
Now it gets thick.
You get
it's
so full.
high and thick on the toast, the egg whites, but they're
with the base of
crispy.
avocado and the chocolate milk with the psyllium on the side. You're so darn full.
I came away today and I was like, I will never eat again. I can't. I can't eat again.
yeah.
3 hours later, I'm
Yeah,
starving.
3 hours later or 4 hours later, I'm ready. But Monica, I want
Hang
to
on.
challenge
Now
you.
that you're in the gym and you're working out, do you ever let your protein go to 4 hours later?
Not usually because
even
I'm
if
hungry.
you have an essential or something, you got to do that.
Yeah.
You put that protein in everything.
But
else.
all I'm saying is try it and see what happens, because I'm not saying you can never go longer than 4 hours, Monica. You're wanting to stretch your window because you've read information that insulin coming in all the time is going to keep your resistance up. But insulin coming in too infrequently.
Oh, it causes you to be incapable then of, anything that is put to the shelf. Your body starts to kind of think, oh, I don't need to do that anymore. So, people that go too low carb for too long, which is what happens in the carnivore diet, they actually have what you call a temporary carbohydrate intolerance.
Yes.
Where that's why a lot of carnivore people that are in their pregnancy and they go for that test, that diabetic test, and they're not having hardly any carbs, and they wonder why they will fail the pregnancy glycemic test, when they have to drink that weird drink, because their body is it's not used to providing insulin anymore.
Yeah, gets out of the habit of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I also forgot to say I have some sauerkraut on the side, for extra veg and for extra microbiome, and that feeds also my incretin hormones, my GLP-1. The egg whites feed my GLP-1.
So does
the
the
whole
whey.
grain rye. The whey does. Everything's
So
feeding
does the psyllium.
those incretin hormones.
Yeah.
And I'm just so satiated.
And do you know what happens with incretin hormones, people?
What happens?
Satiety. So she's doing satiety on so many levels. She's got satiety
It's like
from the
5
just the
levels deep.
functional satiety of fiber, but that's besides the science of incretin hormone satiety, which is from signaling, the incretin hormones and PYY and CKK. These are all start to be signaled by the whey and the fiber.
And you know what? What's a fermentable fiber?
And of course, she's got the protein in there that's anchoring satiety. That meal is satiety onion.
Yeah, there's layers and layers. And what was I going to say? The fermentable fiber in rye is fascinating in studies.
It turns to a gel.
Yeah, and so not only do I have this gel of psyllium, I have the gel of rye.
That's why, I love to make what I call my Shabbat special boule artisan sourdough bread, and I do it with the mainly spelt, right? That my starter is rye because I just find it gives a more of a robust characteristic starter, but the main ingredient is the spelt because I grind it fine. It makes this beautiful fluffy boule for our special meals. But during the week, I don't make that bread. We live on rye bread, my peasant rye bread. Why? Because it's way better for your blood sugar. I mean, whole grain spelt's great too, but there's nothing like rye for forming a glue in your stomach and making you feel full.
We've allowed a lot of things on THM because we don't want to be exclusive people and say you can only be in this little purist cult, right? And only have these sorts of breads. And if it's not truly fermented with ancient grains, we've allowed partial bread flours in, and we've allowed sprouted bread that doesn't contain all sprouted grains. Like there's a bit of bread flour in there. But sometimes people say, I don't do well with e-meals, but maybe you have to bypass a little of those allowances that we've allowed and go to the true glory of an e-meal, which is like the whole rye rather than some little Aldi sprouted bread.
Yeah.
You're going to find such a difference.
Like Aldi sprouted bread, I might have twice a year.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's
Yeah.
allowed, and guess what? It makes hundreds of thousands of people healthy and happy because they get to do it and it feels
great.
doable.
Yeah, it's great.
But if you're really having trouble and you really can't get past that 1.5 to 2 hour mark and
don't be afraid of making my bread.
Yeah,
We're going to have
well-
it out in the new book.
Yeah.
The recipe, but I'm telling
You've
you.
made it easier.
It is the quickest bread. To me, it's like, I made it this morning. It was like brushing my teeth. It's so quick. The way I've laid it out
the way
now
you
to
do it now,
is
but-
so quick. And what
But
happens
you can't tell
is-
people to do that because we don't have it out yet.
Yeah, but I'm just telling, look forward to it.
Yeah.
Because you will be so full. There's no way you can be hungry on that bread.
Yeah, so Monica, we absolutely love you very much. We've kind of like done attack dog stuff today, but just because we feel like you're like a sister because you're Poddy people. So we have like no holds barred, right? But
And I want to
we want to protect you.
I'm your sister in it too. Like I love good animal fats and
Yeah.
animal protein. I probably have more than Pearl. It's just kind of like what my body feels good onto. But boy, I'm very aware to balance it with plenty of plants, plenty of veggies, plenty of fiber.
Because there's a
Yeah.
lot of wisdom of man out there, Monica, and it infiltrates our heads. And sometimes we can believe things just because people say it, but God knows best, right? And when he mentioned those food groups back in Genesis, he talked about the blood of the grapefruit. He talked about the grain of the field. He talked about the harvest. These are things that we were created for. Let's just get the best of them.
Yeah, and I just think, you know, I know there's spiritual application, but I know you said you appreciate when I bring the scriptures and stuff. It's definitely, it was spiritual application, but why did he choose out of all of the food groups to anchor as a beautiful type? But still, you know, first in the natural, then the spiritual is bread being the staff of life.
It's just that bread, like many things, has been twisted into something that's unhealthy.
And he even likened himself to it. He's like, and I am the bread of life. It's not, I'm the meat of life.
Yeah.
And that's not downing meat.
No.
But
he also likened himself to the lamb and we're to consume the whole lamb.
But when he gave the lamb, you know, when the priests were to give an offering, they didn't just give the lamb. They also gave a portion of their grain. That's why I'm so anti all these trends that are so unbiblical and they're not grounded in biblical truth, that are against grain. Oh, grain only came when we started doing the cultivation and blah, 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 blah. I'm like,
check out the accent.
No, but I'm like, it was such a part of what they even gifted to God. If it's good enough for a gift to God, it's good enough for me.
Yeah, so Monica, I'd encourage you to go back to some more ancient grains. Go to the real jellious, fibrous ones that actually impact those incretin hormones in your gut. Sounds like she needs a lot more incretin hormones, and maybe you're not ready or not in the right season to do incretin hormone therapy where you use a drug, but produce more of your own.
I know she's young and she's cycling, but it'll be great to get our new book when it comes out, just because it will give you some information for the future so that you'll get on board with some of the things that you can start now so that you're rocking the future. But also we have some tips and tricks for satiety in there that make you not want to graze every 1 to 2 hours. And also incredible that feed incretin hormones. We have that whole food piece preloader chapter in there.
Yeah.
If that's what we still call it.
Yes,
Pearl's
we will.
in charge of all the names.
Yeah.
I'm a big sister
It's all
boss.
good. That book is done and it's coming.
Yeah.
Hey, we're done.
We're done.
Yay.
Peace.